I am so tired of feeling insecure. Enough is enough. It's time to change the story. Hi, you finally opened the letter. Are you feeling insecure right now? Maybe you're not feeling good enough about yourself, or maybe you're feeling lacking compared to others. Perhaps you're feeling a little bit envious about what other people have. It's okay. I feel you. I've felt insecure for the most of my life, whether it's because of my looks, my body, my personality, my skills, my achievement, my relationship status, and the list goes on. But before I got into it, my name is Olive, and this is my first ever YouTube video. An open letter from myself, to myself, and to anyone else who are tired of feeling insecure and ready to feel good about themselves again. So, if you resonate with this, hop on and let's tackle this together. So, before we get into my story and the tips and mindset that help me feel better about my insecurity, let's define it first. Insecurity is a feeling of lack or inadequacy about oneself. It's basically a feeling of not being good enough or not worthy enough. This can sometimes lead to envy, which is resenting someone for their possession, attribute, or qualities that we desire. So throughout my life, I feel lacking in a lot of things, such as my social skills, my earliest insecurity, then my personality. I was insecure if I'm not being outgoing enough or cheerful enough. And I was insecure about my looks, about my body, about my relationship status. Eventually, actually, it came a little bit later because I was dealing with a lot of stuff in my early life. So I got insecure about relationship status only recently, maybe past 3 years. Then I was insecure about my achievement, career, income, and the list goes on. These insecurities definitely lowered my self-worth, my self-esteem, and well-being. It made me dread a social situation in which I will meet with other people, with my friends that have what I didn't have. It was so twisted because I think I avoided a lot solely because of that reason, solely because I was insecure. I think I avoided my friends who were already engaged, whereas I was single at the time because they have what I didn't have. Other than avoiding social situation, I also tend to shy away from potential partner because I wasn't feeling worthy enough of them. I feel like they were out of my league. And basically, insecurity just prevent me from living my best life. So my life has been a continuous journey of tackling one insecurity to another, from tackling my insecurity about my personality, and then to my body, to my looks, to my relationship status, to my income, to everything. So these are the tips and mindset that I acquired in my journey throughout different insecurities across different period of my life. I hope this will help you as much as it helped me. I'll start with some surface level tips and then we'll get deeper in tips number 3 until tips number 5. First, I felt happy with just the first 2 tips. I felt better and secure in myself with only these 2 tips. But after a while, they stopped working for me. That's when I realized it was because the first 2 tips didn't tackle the root problems. But it still works, so I'll still share it. But then I came up with other 3 tips that I will share with you as well. Tip number 1, be gentle and honest with yourself. Whenever you feel negative feeling such as insecurity, always start with self-compassion. There is no point in beating yourself up for feeling a certain way because feeling exists for a reason, right? And beating yourself up only make yourself feel worse and doesn't solve any problem. Feeling insecure is so very human. It's totally normal. It usually happens when we compare ourselves to others and we feel less, we feel inferior to them. To better understand your feeling, ask yourself, what are you insecure about? Or if you're feeling insecure because you compare yourself to others, ask yourself, who do you typically compare yourself to? What qualities or attributes that you envy from them? I'll answer. Usually, I compare myself with my peers, someone who's similar in my age, ethnicity, background, gender. Yeah, the qualities I envy usually shift from time to time, depending on my focus in life. But usually, I tend to envy people who have wide social circle and who's beautiful and attractive and is thriving in both career and love life because I see them as well-rounded and I put so much importance on being well-rounded in my life. After answering it, you can either speak it out or journal it out. It doesn't matter. But usually when we admit it, there will be a feeling of relief that comes with it. Just because we are being honest with ourselves. And we need to forgive ourselves for comparing. Comparison is human. We tend to do it because it's rooted in our survival instinct. So back then, we believe, our ancestors believed that in order to survive, we need to be the fittest, we need to be the strongest, because being stronger, being better equals survival. So while humanity has evolved and we don't necessarily need to physically fight for survival anymore, this instinct remains in our brain. Our comparison tendency can also be fueled by childhood conditioning by our parents. During childhood, our parents might compare us in order to motivate us to become the best. So I want you to understand that comparison is totally normal and say to yourself, I feel insecure because so, and it's totally normal. So once we've held our feeling, we can move on to tip number 2. Collect your win. Disclaimer, this tip might only offer temporary relief because it doesn't address the root cause of our insecurity, which is our mindset, which we'll get into in tip number 3 till tip number 5. So in this condition where you end up feeling bad because you compare, you also feel better when you win the comparison game. I know that this is not the healthiest way, but the temporary solution is to prove to our mind that we are better in our own unique ways. So, for example, in the past, I used to be very insecure about my relationship status. I was insecure because I was single and a lot of my close friends are in a relationship. At that time, I didn't even know how to talk to men, how to allow myself to be pursued, while other people, or even people younger than me, were being treated like a queen, left and right. And I envy that because I wanted it, but I didn't experience it. So, in order to feel like I'm winning, I will tell myself that, okay, this person might be in a relationship, but I'm doing great in my purpose and goals. I know my purpose and I already achieved one of my biggest college goal at that time. Or I'll say, this person might be charming, but I also have my own unique strength, such as my empathy and my ability to make people feel understood. I will also remind myself that this person probably has started their finding love journey earlier than me. So they might start that dating in junior high school or senior high school while I was struggling with another aspect at that time and I only started dating like recently. And most of the time we envy people because they seem to have it all together. But truth is, no one has it all together. Someone who seems to be perfect because they have what we want to have, They also struggle in another area. For example, my friend was in a relationship, she was struggling with her family issues. And I didn't know that. There's one time I told my college friend that I was feeling insecure for most of my life. And then they said they totally didn't sense the insecurity because I seem so chill and so relaxed. The key point is even those we perceive as confident and secure also feel their own insecurity that we don't know. Even for different reason, insecurity feel the same. It's the same belittling, crippling feeling in our chest that make us shrink. But here's why it's temporary. Because there will always be someone who's smarter, someone who's kinder, someone who's more successful, who's better in general. So if this tip doesn't work because you suddenly met a person that is perfect in all aspects that you care about, that bring us to tip number 3. Change the problem question. Comparison is truly the thief of joy. Even the most successful person will feel miserable if they keep on comparing themselves. Oftentimes we fall into this trap of asking, how do we beat this other person? How do we become better? How do we have what they have? But that is not the real question. The real question is, how do we become happy with what we have? Because the reason why we want to win the comparison game is to feel happy, right? Is to feel worthy. It's because we thought that if we have what they have, if we are better than them, we'll finally feel happy and worthy. Instead of playing a game that we couldn't win, why not change the question? Why not change the game? Which is by asking, how do you feel happy with what we have? And not being triggered with what other person have. Step number 1. Stop assigning meaning. How often do we assign meaning to neutral events? For example, your friend has higher income than you, and you feel bad about yourself. You automatically assign meaning that you're less worthy than them. But is it true? No, of course not. Another friend gets married, and you are single, and you assign meaning that you are less worthy than them. Is it true? No, it's not. She's good at art, music, studies, and everything. She's better than me. If she has all those things, so why? She's better than you? Then why? You assign meaning that you're less worthy than them because she's better at some skills that you're not. But is it true? Is it true? If Mozart can play music and Picasso can make art, does it make them any less than others? No. Or on YouTube, she reached her 1 million. And okay, actually, this is extreme. I have 0 subscriber. What does it make me? Am I unworthy because of it? No. Do you realize that this cycle can be never ending? Once people share their good news, you feel triggered. Good news here, triggered. Good news there, triggered. Until when? Until when do you want to be like that? You don't want to be that bitter person who cannot be happy because of your friend's success, right? If you turn that situation, of course you don't want to be surrounded by people who cannot be happy for you, right? How do we become secure and happy for other success? We need to stop assigning meaning to neutral events. It doesn't mean anything about your worth. If your friends has higher income than you, or if your friends has already married, if your friends can do skills that you cannot, it doesn't mean anything about you. They are neutral. Their success, their beauty, their accomplishment doesn't diminish your own. Just take it as a sign that if they can experience it, so can you. Just affirm it. Second step is to stop externalizing our worth. We all fall into this trap of divining our worth by external factors such as our looks, our weight, our income, our followers, and other things. But think about it. Are babies unworthy because they haven't achieved all these external things? Of course not. Our worth is intrinsic. They are built in and are not affected by external factors. You have the power to choose how you define yourself. If you choose external factor, your worth will continuously fluctuate with life ups and downs. But if you decide your worth is intrinsic, nothing can shake you. Personally, I wouldn't even define worth with personality, intelligence, or passion because this can lead to comparison traps too. So here's my own personal take. You are worthy simply because you exist. It's a hard concept, but visualize a pure golden light within your heart, a light that cannot be extinguished. You shine brightly no matter what. That is your word, and no one can take it away from you. Tip number 4 is to challenge your belief and do inner work. What I mean by inner work is diving deep into yourself and try to get to the root of your own insecurity. So, I will use my previous example. I used to feel insecure about my relationship status, and I felt envious to people who have their career and love life together. I'll ask myself, why?
Isn't it obvious? Because I want those things.
So, what if you want those things and they have it?
In a way, I felt like if they already have it, I can have it too, because it's already taken by them.
And now let's challenge your belief. Is it true that if they are in a relationship, you cannot be in one? Is your soulmate same as them? No, right? So what exactly do they take away from you? Nothing. They don't take away anything from you. This belief might be rooted in scarcity mindset, in which we don't believe that there's enough for everyone in this world. We believe that there's only limited amount of resources, of love, of abundance. That's why if people have it, it lowers the chance of us having it too. But is it true? No. Universe is limitless. Universe is abundance. So we need to rewrite it with a more positive belief, such as there is always enough for everyone to go around. And we need to ingrain it in our mindset every time we see other people have what we want. We'll just say that there's enough for everyone to go around. It might be hard to replace an old belief with a new one because belief is a thought repeated time over time, and it became natural for us to think that way. So, what helped me to replace my old belief with a new one is repeating affirmation or positive statement. I was once very skeptical about this, but I was in a low point at the time, and I thought giving it a try wouldn't hurt because a lot of my favorite YouTubers are mentioning it every time. So, okay, I'll give it a try. And wow, it worked. It actually worked. So, it worked in a way when I started feeling insecure. This new thought, this affirmation just rang in my mind and it redirected my thought. For example, I started feeling envious. I started feeling insecure compared to others. My mind will repeat to myself that other people's worth doesn't take away from my own. And then I just got reminded. So it was because we repeated a lot of times, we have this new way of thinking. So here are some self-worth affirmation that help address my root cause, which are from this video by one of my favorite YouTuber, Lior Alexandra. So for my scarcity mindset, these two affirmations help me. There is enough for everyone, for everybody. Someone else's worth does not take away from my own. And for my comparing tendency, I withdraw my energy and attention from others now and return it to myself. I am in competition with no one. I am the best at what I do in my own way. For recognizing my worth, I honor what makes me unique. I honor myself, and therefore the world honors me. This one is powerful because we tend to seek external validation. But the truth is, only when we honor ourselves, people will also mirror it back to us. And I recommend repeating this affirmation during these two windows, which is right when you wake up and right before you fall asleep. Those are two windows where our subconscious mind is in theta state, which is receptive to suggestion. If you thought that this is such a work and people are naturally born like this without having to repeat any affirmation, no, they're not. They just simply started earlier. Maybe in their childhood, their parents told them, like, you're the best, you're in competition with no one, just think about yourself. Or their teachers say that. In a way, they are being affirmed earlier, not by themselves, but by others, by other people in their surrounding. But because you and I might not live in the surrounding that reinforce that belief, we need to reinforce them by ourselves. So it's okay. Trust that when you plant the seeds of affirmation, they will eventually bloom. This positive mindset will eventually bear its fruit later in your life. So you might want to start sooner than later. So come our last tip. Change what you can change, accept what you cannot. Throughout my journey battling various insecurities, I have tried two approaches. The first one is changing myself to become what I want, and the second is to accept myself and live my best life. Both work, but each come with its difficulties. For the first approach, changing ourselves, we will face difficulties when we are doing the work, when we are bettering ourselves. For example, I was insecure about my social skills because my parents, my teachers, they all pointed that out as my weakness. So I shed blood, sweat, and tears to improve it because I was shy and I was socially anxious. So I tried reading books. I tried to learn how to hold eye contact. I learned how to smile when talking. I learned how to not be conscious when I was eating alone in a party. It was hard because we face our struggles directly. But eventually I improved in my social skills and I'm happy with it. Now I don't feel insecure about that anymore. The second approach, accepting myself, it sounds easier, but it is hard because nothing changed in your reality and you need to accept it. In a way, we don't need to do the work, we don't need to do the real work, but we need to do the mindset work. How to accept ourselves even though the circumstance doesn't change. So I learned about the second approach because this time I was battling with insecurities that I wasn't sure I couldn't change, but I wanted to love myself no matter what. This time I was insecure about my appearance. I was struggling with acne. I just hit the highest weight of my life, and I wasn't really satisfied with how I look, even at my peak. I compared myself a lot to my pretty friend at that time, and I cried because I was so mean to myself. And long story short, I got a chance to go for student exchange to Korea. And excitement aside, I panicked because I know in South Korea people put so much emphasis on looks and the guys might be into certain kind of woman. Don't blame me if at the time I wanted to date a Korean oppa. The thing was, I knew for absolute certainty that I didn't want to waste any second of my life feeling insecure in my dream country. And as a reminder, this applies to everyone too. We didn't come to this world to feel bad and insecure about ourselves. But yeah, at the time, Korea made it more urgent compared to life in general. At the time, with the limited time I have, I did the thing that could help me feel better about myself, which is to exercise. My mindset was I will try to feel better about my body, knowing that if I felt better, I will also look better. But I promised myself if after I lost weight, I didn't feel beautiful, fuck it. I've done everything I could, and this is me. I am going to wear myself proudly. I also came to a point where I thought to myself, I am so done feeling insecure. This is literally not changing anything. I couldn't change my face unless I went under the knife. So let's just change my mindset instead. While it might sound a little bit pessimistic, it was incredibly freeing. I made a pure decision and promised to myself to stop caring, to stop comparing, and fully live my life. I took my power back and stopped letting this external factor define my worth. So, to sum up, change what you can change, accept what you cannot, and the rest. In the end, you'll feel tired of being insecure and not being able to be fully happy with yourself. You'll realize that being insecure doesn't change a thing and it's pointless. Being secure with ourselves is a continuous decision to reclaim our power and shift the focus away from others back to ourselves. It's about finding ways to be fulfilled in our own life again and again. When it's a thing of releasing insecurity, like mastering a sport or working out, it's a process and it definitely takes practice. It's not once and for all thing. Just like when you play sport, you reach the peak of your performance, but when you stop practicing, you'll decline, right? So what you need to do is to practice again, to get on it again. It's the same as releasing insecurity, dealing with it. It took a lot of practice and it is a continuous journey. I hope you keep that in mind. If you make it until this point, let me share you a bonus tip. It was a perspective shift I got last year. Last year, my old insecurity about my appearance resurfaced, and I was so devastated because I fight it for such a long time, and I thought I finally conquered it back in my South Korea exchange period. So when it made a comeback, I felt desperate. I wanted to just make it disappear as quickly as I can. So I rewatched the self-help videos that I used to watch. I browsed intensely for self-help resources online. And you know what? On the same day, when I was browsing intensely, I was struck by a sudden loss of my family member. In that instance, I felt almost foolish for being insecure about such worldly things such as appearance, when in fact, I should be appreciating the gift of life. I realized how trivial and worldly my insecurities were, yet at the same time, it was so deeply human. It is truly a privilege to be able to feel the good, the bad, the high, the low, the secure, the insecure. It's the privilege of being human because to live is to feel. So I came to this realization. I'm insecure and that's okay. I'm just being human. When I accept that, it helps me accept myself. And the cure to insecurity is self acceptance. So, cheers to embracing our insecurities and living our life fully, being human. Life's too short to be insecurely. You don't want to look back at the end of your life and see that you've just been insecure the whole time. You don't want that. So let's appreciate this little gift of life and just embrace all that comes with it. Ultimately, it doesn't matter who has more, who moves faster, who is better. We don't come here to feel bad. We don't come here to compare. We come here to feel good and make the most of our life. We all just gotta work with the situation we are given. So cheers to feeling good about ourselves and our life. No matter where you are in your life, you are never alone. So let's live and learn together. Don't forget to subscribe to join my journey. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.